And this and we are now recording. So, welcome whether you are catching us live or you are watching the recording. We are so glad that you are here. Today, we wanted to have an open forum, have a time where we can connect and talk and ask questions and share from our hearts. And we also wanted to give you an update on our team time. So we created a kind of subcommittee for team time ideas. So we're working on that, working on having fun music on at the start of team time. Could anybody hear that music before they entered? Did it come through before or just when you entered? Just when you entered? Okay, cool. But we thought it might be kind of fun to have that positive start to different calls. So wanted to give you a heads up on that. And I don't see Sarah Bond on at the moment, but I wanted to just share a couple of weeks ago, you probably realized it too. We were in a team time and we had opened it up for questions for people to kind of talk, and nobody did. It was like silence. And actually, I think maybe even our last ED call was a little bit that way. I don't know if anybody remembers that. And so I was talking to Sarah over the course of the week, and she kind of asked me, "Hey, is everything good or whatever?" And I kind of mentioned to her, like, it's been quiet on this call and I don't know why. And, yada, yada, yada. And she said, "Oh my goodness." She said, "I was muted. I was off video. I was in a funk. I thought about talking, but I decided not to. And, because I was in a funk and I didn't think I had anything to say or whatever." And she said, "I bet everyone else is probably feeling that way." And so I don't know if that sounds familiar to you, if maybe you have found yourself feeling that way, but I just want you to know that we would love to hear from you, that we actually need you and your voice and your heart and your comments and your questions on this call, especially, and also on that on our Monday night call. So if there's anything that we can do to help foster that safe space where you feel comfortable sharing, please let us know now or at a later point. But that's really why we're meeting, right? We want to create a great space for all of us to be able to process at a higher level, because you're the bomb. You are the tippity top of the whole team, and you are leading the team. And so anyways, just wanted you to know that. So Dee, is there anything I didn't say or that you want to say better?
No, I mean, absolutely. Like as Meg said, like even maybe just raise your hand. Like, do you even get on this call and feel like maybe I'm not really a leader? Maybe I don't have anything to share. Okay, I see. Thank you, Lauren. I see Lauren's hand up. Maybe, okay, a few more. Anyone else? All right. And to be completely honest with you, I mean, there are times honestly where I haven't felt like quite the leader. My business is at last month was the lowest my business has been in years. And I've lost my rank. I'm a global director, no longer IPD. I probably won't go to Sundance. I wasn't on the cruise. So we're all going through things. And the one thing I think Meg and I really want to create is an environment where we can feel safe to talk about frustrations, but not to have a pity party, right? But what we also don't want to do is get on and play Pollyanna, right? Like put these rose-colored glasses on, because we've all been in those kind of environments, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. So Meg is going to share a story from a sermon that she shared with me, that she heard yesterday. But the way I view this, you guys, is that this is us. Like we are the team, we are the leaders. The direction this ship sails is up to us, right? Our mindset, the way that we're going to captain this, the way that we're going to face our discouragement, the way that we're going to rebuild. And we want to do it together, right? Like I want you guys to realize, like, the energy feeds off each other. Like if I stare at a screen with dead stares and you don't owe me anything, but I will tell you it drags me down. it makes me then think I've lost my touch as a leader, because we all have those the negative committee in there, and she's been super loud for me these days. So I just want to open with that to let you know that like my real mission for us is, especially as a leadership team, and for our team times, is to create the environment that we feel safe, but we also feel like we're in a period of reconstruction and rebuild.
Yeah, that's so good, Dee. So I went to our church yesterday and heard the sermon, and I really wish I had a picture of it, but I don't. But I'm going to try to explain it to you the best that I can. But the pastor was talking about gentleness, but in the process of talking about gentleness, he was talking about a time in which he wanted to buy a piece of land out in the country. So he was going to visit all sorts of different properties, and he shows up at this one property. And they pull into the drive. It's on this hill. It's like their beautiful sunset in the background. And there's this house. And he looks at this house and it's a piece of crap. Like he looks at it and he's like, oh, no thanks. And his wife looks at it as a beautiful piece of art, like a project of, she looks at it for what it could be. He is looking at it for what it is not right now. And so he talked about the difference of perspective and how that plays into things. And he took it a step further and he talked about the difference between demolition and restoration. So it's pretty easy to show up on a piece of property like that and see a house that needs work and just demolish it, right? Like tear it down, start from the ground up again, right? Demolition is oftentimes pretty easy. We know what to expect. We need a bulldozer, we need a trash can, we need, we kind of know what we need for that, right? Restoration, on the other hand, it's very complex. It comes with challenges we don't even know about, right? Like restoring a 100-year-old home. It's like, well, what's the plumbing like and the electricity and all these different things? So it's so much more challenging and can be so much more beautiful and so important, and gives you that feel-good feeling of like really doing something when we restore. And so as he was talking about this, I started thinking about our business and our businesses. And what we could do right now is just demolish our business and just light it on fire, right? Get the bulldozer and be like, whoop, like this is hard.
Or
Or we
walk
could
away
look at
from
it
it, right?
or walk
Just
away.
walk
Yeah,
away from that
bingo.
piece of property and say, not worth it,
Bingo.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Or we could look at it as, okay, maybe this is our chance to restore and have restoration in our team culture, in our own vision for the future, and in our health, and all different types of areas. But that was just a really powerful analogy yesterday, hearing it, and it just meant something to me. So I wanted to share it in hopes that it's going to mean something to you as well, because I really feel like you're here today in hopes to restore, in hopes to build that 100-year-old dream home, right? To restore your vision, restore the culture, restore all the things. So just wanted to share that. How does that land when you hear that story? Would anybody be willing to speak up? Kelly, go.
Yeah. I just, made me think of was just recently, I heard someone making a comment about this, which I really appreciated, was that just because, we have a goal, like this is something I use an example with my clients a lot of times, and I had kind of forgotten it until just recently, but we have a goal and we're moving toward that. Let's say it's our health journey or just with this business, and we're doing the things for this many days. And then one day we don't. Something happens and we stumble, we get off track. And then we're like, well, now I got to start over. You're not starting over. You're starting with experience, like you say, restoring. And so you're up 6. That's out of 7 days. You were doing great for 6 days. And then one day you didn't, or maybe one little few minutes of one day you didn't. Well, you're still up 6, so it's like that's 6-1. You're still winning. Okay, so let's move on. And I know y'all are like, yeah, she's always talking about that, she's that Pollyanna person, but it's just, that helps me to think about, I'm not starting from ground zero. When we're running a marathon and we stumble, we don't go back to the first mile. We stand up where we are and keep going. And that's what we need to do here in our business, in our health journey, whatever it is just stand up and keep going.
That's beautiful. And I've got a question for everyone. Was anybody sitting there saying that's that Pollyanna person? Because I wasn't.
Mm-mm.
I don't think anybody was. Kelly, we need you. We need your voice. We need your energy and your enthusiasm. So this is your space and you're safe here. Thank you for sharing. Lauren, you came off video or a different type of video. Did you have something you wanted to share? It's so hard when you're on your phone, in my opinion. I never know where the unmute button is. Or anybody else for that matter.
Sorry, I like kept trying to show me different backgrounds. No, not necessarily. I appreciate that, Kelly. And I feel like I've just been in a bit of maybe like a apathetic state, or been just tired. Like I think just tired, and sometimes it's hard. I think when you're, and I don't know if any of y'all can relate to this, but I feel like when you're in a leadership role, I think it's really easy for me to show up for other people, but not always as easy to show up for myself. And I think, so I feel, but I'm not, and I keep telling my coaches, like, I'm not going anywhere. I think I'm just in a season of like, I don't really know what I want and I don't really know what's next, but I'm here and I'm supporting the people that I have. And I also feel like it's been really good for me. And I think something that I'm talking about with my coaches and my clients is just being grateful for what we do have and just being intentional with what we do have. And so I think sometimes it's, and I think also reevaluating what a win is and appreciating the wins, even though they may be smaller, even though they may look different, or, those kinds of things. And so, and I think I'm just so appreciative of, sorry, my 4-year-old. That's why I've been blowing bubbles and coming on and off. Summer. But yeah, so I think just in a different season, for different state, I think, I guess going outside. So anyway, but I'm so appreciative for this group. I'm so appreciative for this community and, for all that it's meant and all that it will mean. So happy to be here.
Love that, Lauren. Thanks. Well,
I wanted to mention, sorry, I'm talking again. I wanted to mention, I just finished this book with Amy Kemp, by Amy Kemp, that Dee had recommended. I just finished it, and I took so many notes and scribbled so many things. And I'm going back through it again, looking at all the things that I circled and underlined and all that kind of stuff. And I'm taking other notes, on top of that, because it just meant so much to me. And she had mentioned about the Greatest Salesman of the World book, and I've got both of them here. And so now I'm going to go back through that one again, because that was something she had mentioned about going through that. And it was something that I remember using with the several of us went through a process a couple years ago with habit finders. And there were some things in habit finders that they were using the stuff from Og Mandino for that too. And it was very enlightening and was, just help to kind of push you forward and realize, okay, kind of ground you, help you to see, things for, what they are, how you need to improve, and it's okay to pat yourself on the back for the things that you are doing. And that's what we tend to do. We let negative Nelly come in and tell us, wah, 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 and we actually are not giving ourselves credit for the stuff that we are doing right and that we are doing well, rather than, well, that's wrong and that's wrong and that's wrong. Well, okay, yeah, let's fix it, and we don't have to fix it all at one time. It can be one at a time, one thing at a time, one thing in a day, or one thing a week, or whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be all right now. And if you're not up here on this pedestal, then something's wrong with you. That's not how it works. We all work in waves anyway. That's the way life is.
It's such a such a good perspective. Yeah. Yeah. Because we tend to, it's really our perspective, and that it actually is a good lead. Our perspective matters, right? And Debbie, I would love for you to elaborate a little bit on what you just put in the chat.
Okay, I'll try. I don't know if I can articulate it. I feel like I'm trying. I feel like I'm not trying hard enough. But then I also feel like it shouldn't be hard. You know, so I'm waiting for things to just be intuitive. And that the things that I do actually show that it shows up as making an impact, or, you know, that like it would just be nice. I'm trying, and I tend to have a positive attitude no matter what anyway. Like my mom used to make fun, or not in a mean way, but like that I could be standing in like a pile of mud or poop or whatever, and like as long as my friends were there, I'd be probably in a good mood. You know, like I tend to, you know, but I think it's like almost like a fatigue thing. Like I'm trying and I'm trying, and let me try this new thing, and let me try that new thing. And after a while, it's like after a while your Pollyanna kind of goes, stop, you know, and so it's like I'm still trying, I'm still doing the things that I know work. And I firmly believe that this is a season. So I firmly believe that there will be a time that we can look back on this time and be like, man, that was hard. I'm glad we're here now. So I know that's coming. I'm just ready for it to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for being so honest about it. And, you know, it's so interesting, right? Like with even the definition of feeling hard, right? If we think it's hard, it's hard. But what came to mind just as you said that was, I can think of so many analogies of this fantasy of how we think it should be, and then the reality of what it is. I mean, I think about when I went to college, right? And I thought it was going to be so great, whatever. Well, then there were all those papers to write, and the test, and then the class I didn't pass, and like the different things that was like, whoa, this was not what I expected. Marriage, right? Marriage is hard, right? We go from that honeymoon, like, this is going to be great, this is my soulmate, to, wow, this is work. I go from when I held my newborn baby and what I thought, you know what I mean, to like, wow, parenting, you know. So I think it's a good reminder that anything worthwhile takes that intentionality, it takes that effort, it takes doing it when you don't want to do it. It doesn't necessarily turn out the way you want it, right? But we know anything hard is worth the journey, right? Like anything is, you know. So I guess I don't know, it'd just be a kind of a question from the group, like Meg asked, how does that land with you? And then how do we navigate these seasons? Like when we feel apathetic, or when we feel just discouraged that it's not happening the way we would like it to. Connie.
For me, it comes down to belief. And I've been through a real season of hard, not just with this either. I didn't qualify for convention. And on the 31st, I really had to sit there and have like a come to Jesus meeting with Jesus, and like go, okay, what am I being called to do? And submission is not like a favorite word of mine, but that's what I was called to do, because I was so much more about the money and being in attendance, and rather than serving people. And I was like, you know, and I've had a surrender at a different level, and to what is and what isn't in my personal life and here with all the things that have been going on. But it's about the belief that I have in the company, in the product, and what I'm doing, in the mission, and the greater piece as a whole. And when I stand back and look at the 4 years that I've been doing this, that just now in June into coaching, that regardless, they've stayed consistent. I think we've been supported. They've changed through the times. And because it's changed my life, I still know and believe that it can change other people's lives. They keep giving us different tools and things. I think some of my lack of confidence. Okay, with the information, what I'm offering, what we have to offer, because I've not had a whole lot of new clients. The inactive people didn't want to be coached. They just wanted to lose the weight again at a good price, right? And so I don't know, what has kind of come to my mind is that, I don't know, I mean, I just feel like I need to go back to Dan Bell's class. How do you approach and how do you do this and that? And it's not that hard because we've got new tools. We've got this new thing to do. And I signed a new coach, and a new client and a new coach. And well, hadn't signed to be a new coach because we haven't had the first client yet. And yet I'm doing it with her because that's the way we do it here, right? And that's what you told me when I came, and that's what I'm telling her. And I'm just starting out one by one because I don't know how else to do that. But I know that I'm not going anywhere without this community. I know I'm not going anywhere without my recovery community and my faith and all of those types of things, because this is what seems to work for me. So I've decided to stay regardless of what's going on. And to me, that's because I believe in what we do.
That's so good, Connie. Yeah, I think we all have to come back to, right? It comes back down to that why, the mission, right? I hope you're seeing those comments. Yeah, that, I think sometimes the expectation we put on ourselves, but even think back to your first client or two, you didn't really know what you were doing, but you were just so freaking excited and motivated, right? About this, you were the one that were like, you had like 30 people at your first, whatever it was, like a
No,
Explore
Health and Hope
coaching.
night, right? Because I just went
Right.
on and didn't know what I was doing, so I'm
Right.
like 80 people or something, and I had like 10 people show up, and I'm going, now what? Okay. So yeah.
Yeah. So much is just our own perspective, but we have those disappointments along the way that discourage us, during the qualification period for the cruise, guys. I think I went through the worst dry spell ever, and you were supposed to get like 10 new clients or whatever. I had zero new clients that whole time. And you want to talk about thinking like you don't even know what you're doing, right? But now as I've had some new clients, it's like you just got to go back to the basics, right? And I'll figure this out, we'll get our rhythm. And it's like you know exactly what you're doing. We just lose our footing a little bit.
Yeah.
Lucy, you had your hand up and then down.
Yeah, I so appreciate what Connie was saying, because I think for me, it really does go back to the confidence. I feel like I have lost a lot of my confidence. It's almost like I'm driving a stick shift. Learning how to drive a stick shift is like, I'll get a reactivated or a new client. And April was like my best month in a long time. And then May was nothing, and it's the confidence or lack of confidence, I should say, that, yeah, we know what to do and we are doing it. But I think what Debbie was saying as well, I'm tired, I'm tired of working so hard. And there not being any results or very little results. I appreciate what Kelly was saying, and even, finding the little things. There's some positive things, but I'll just be honest, it's that's even hard right now for me to see, and not that I'm going anywhere, but a lot of the gas has gone out of my tank, and I feel like I'm just kind of coasting on E right now because I don't know what else to do or to say or to post or who to call. Doing all the things without results, it drains you, and I almost didn't even get on this call because I was like, even though I was talking with another coach earlier, and I'm like, the only reason I got on the call is because I mentioned about this call. So I'm like, okay, let me get on the call. But my tank is almost gone in terms of even wanting to do anything more. Just being honest of just where I am, it's it's really bad right now, my business. And I feel like I know that I'm not at ground zero, but I feel like I'm at ground zero again.
And thank you for having the courage, Lucy, to share that. And we want you to know, like, we're here. And kudos to you for actually showing up when you didn't want to today. And I'm curious to know, what is it that puts gas in your tank? Like, what is it? Is it being with a group of people? Is it time by yourself? Like, what is it? What are those things that provide that energy?
Right now, that's a really tough question to answer. I'll be honest, because I feel very deflated right now.
So it sounds like maybe you're curious. You're in that state of curiosity, trying to figure it out. Fair? Or you
Maybe.
want to be curious?
I don't even know if I mean, I'm being honest, I don't even know if I want to be curious, because I'm just tired of keep trying to do things, and I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels. You know, I can't tell you how many lists I have here that I've printed up and doing my map. I almost didn't even do my map again. And I'm like, Lucy, do your map. So I did my map. I'm at a really low point right now. I don't know how else to say it. I just am.
Do you think it would be helpful to, like, I'm trying to find the right way to phrase this, but to let go a little bit? Like, I know I've gone through seasons where I almost feel like I'm just staring at the computer, like trying to get something to jump out of the back office or jump out at me to post or whatever. And sometimes I'm just wondering, do you need a few days of restoration or something like that? Like, have you had some time off? Have you let your brain kind of shut down from this? You know, beginning of the month can sometimes be a good time to do that. And I'm only talking a short amount of time, but like, do you just need some restoration? Maybe just, you know, because sometimes inspired ideas come when we're not thinking about it versus when we're trying to think so hard.
Could be. I haven't,
Can I add
I
an
mean, I have
idea?
my non-work days, but I don't know. I haven't taken, like, unless I'm taking an actual vacation time where I've just completely unplugged from my business.
I'll
What
add
are you
an
going to
idea.
offer, Julie?
Yeah, I was just gonna throw out an idea, something like hearing you talk and having everybody share. I think the thing that's helped me the past couple of months, because it's been hard on my business too, but I've kind of put myself in positive environments and new places that give me energy, because I realized, like, at the new year, I was like, I can't stay this way. I'm not going to be a happy person. And so I really did some soul searching about what I really enjoy and where I want to spend my time. And I remember last year, and probably the springtime, when this happened in my business, I noticed the same thing the beginning of the year. Amy Kemp encouraged me, what do you enjoy doing? Why don't you find some new circles to put yourself in? And that really, really stretched me. I didn't do it at that point. But in this beginning of the year, I did. I finally was like, I've got to go do some new stuff. Instead of just sitting here staring at my computer, wondering what's going to happen. That's when I started teaching boot camps again. And that's brought so much joy. Obviously, we can't all go teach boot camps, but what's something that you enjoy, or something that brings you joy, that brings you energy? And I also know, like, new clients bring me a ton of energy. So, like, hearing you share, Lucy, I had a referral last month, and I haven't had a referral in ages. And I was just so excited to help this client's mom. And I was like, this is what I've been missing, is all these new clients that get me energized and excited. And so now, I'll be honest, I'm nervous because the new bonus starts this month and it's only new clients, right? So I'm like, I've had so many reactivated people that's helped me get the bonus this past 6 months. Now what am I going to do? So I'm just throwing out an idea, because we're all pretty genius people here. We wouldn't have been an ED if we weren't. If we all shared in our group, what are one thing that we each could do to bring on one new client? You know, like, the bonus only requires 2, but what if we just went for 1? What could we each do that focus on just one client? Because that's all it takes to, like, re-energize at least me. So hopefully that encourages y'all a little bit too.
I'd like
That's
to
so
share-
good, Julie.
I'd
Yeah.
like to
God.
share one thing that happened. I joined a couple of groups, multi-generational living and P3 minus, which is what my oldest daughter has. And she's been like the oldest living documented case that I've known for a really long time. And so yesterday, as a result of doing that, like I post that picture, you know, I'm pulling my hair out with kids or whatever it is. And I did that and I've gotten a lot of good stuff on it, just being like, real, are you a parent? Are you ready to like pull your hair out? And and Catherine's 48, and there's another person who has a daughter 44. And I get to introduce my daughter to her. And I would not have joined that group if I hadn't been looking for new people and new ways and more about being supportive of other parents and what's going on. And so I'm just being open and curious to what else is out there and what else I want support with in my own life, rather than just all about trying to serve other people and once again getting the clients. So, because I don't know. And so that was really beautiful too. And I'm just meeting other people because we're not taking care of ourselves when we're taking care of, you know, special kids and other grandkids, like things like that. So that's how I'm beginning to approach it. It's just being interested in things that I want to, rather than trying to find people that are interested in what I do.
That's really good. Really good. And I love, Julie, your
Did I make a
honesty.
comment?
I want Shauna to come on too. I saw your hand up, then you went down. I always love to hear from you. But Julie, I really appreciate, like you said, like when I was encouraged to do something different, I chose not to do it at that time, right? But choosing to do that. And, you know, when I've worked with Amy and also with Paul Blanchard, you know, both of them have encouraged me to, you know, find something new, go play pickleball, like whatever it is, it's going to be something for different, but like, you know, trying to find that and not feel guilty about it. Right. Or not going with just solely that intention of, oh, I want to go join this group in case I find a new client, but like, I seriously want to learn how to play pickleball or whatever. And that's kind of what I was thinking, Lucy. I've seen you do your gardening and different things. Like, is there just something totally different you could do to kind of decompress that just might naturally just put you with other like-minded people that might, you know, lift you up? Shauna.
So I totally feel you, Lucy, and I can put myself right there with her. And I think for me, what I was thinking, and then Julie, you said it so beautifully, is taking the pressure off. And if I can just take the pressure, it's off myself and quit counting on these other people. It's not, you know, this is the problem with a people business. We are driven. We really have to have all these people, and we have to have coaches if we want to grow a big business. And I've had to just totally almost put up this kind of, I don't want to call it a wall, but a sheet of, okay, I could, if that's what you're going to do, that's what you're going to do. And I can't care about it. I can't be consumed with it. If XYZ clients quit, I just can't. And that's I think where I'm at right now. And so totally, Lauren, that word of apathy was like, yeah, that's it. And it's hard when you're sitting there, you know, to kind of navigate that. But for me, if I can just take the pressure off myself and know that I can't convince people to do something, I can't talk somebody into staying on a 5 and 1. And then, you know, really finding something else that can bring you joy is so crucial, because once this becomes your all in all and there's nothing else that's bringing you joy, yeah, it's bad. It can, you know, when the seasons are bad, then life just gets bad all the way around. So, but I love what Julie said. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Shauna. To me, it reminds me a lot about like the boundary conversation, right? Which can be with our businesses, with our clients, with our spouse, whatever. And a boundary that we talked about in one of our local events that I learned to do was this, with a hand on my heart and my hand out, meaning like, that's not mine, right? Like, I'm okay. So like, you know, And at the time it was like my husband, right? But like whatever it is, it's like, okay, my business, I can't control the client quitting. I can't control whatever's happening. I can just control me. And so I give you that in the event that that's helpful, just that tool. Because for me, it gave me power to realize like, oh, I am not enmeshed with that, right? My worth is not tied up in whether or not the client is going to keep going. My worth is totally separate. And I love what Kelly put in the chat. She said, just like we're walking on the beach, waves come along and the beach wave comes and wipes us out. But if we just learn to surf, to navigate the waves and make it to the shore, use the waves to propel us instead of pull us under. And Amy, we're talking about Amy a lot today, but Amy Kemp, when I was working with her, told me, she said, Meg, you're in the waves too much. You need to stand on the shore and watch the waves. And that way you're not going up and down. You're just watching. You're watching the client go up and down. You're watching a coach go up and down. You're watching your front line go up and down. Side note, my front line went down a lot this month. I didn't get in the 10K club. That really stunk. But like, that's not me. I'm still okay, right? I'm going to keep my hand out, and it's something I'm watching from the shore. And that was something that gave me a lot of comfort and really good balance and boundaries. So I just wanted to share.
I like that. And Debbie, I wanna go to what you just put in the comments, right? So when we talk about the disconnect or the letting go, right? And I'm right there with you, you guys. I am now divorced. This is my primary income. I have a big mortgage. I have, yeah, at the end of the day, I can't sit back and go like, c'est la vie, like I'm just hoping it works out. What it forces me to do is I have to be honest with myself to say, okay, am I doing this? Am I truly doing the things? Right? Like what the tendency is to do is we get discouraged and we tend to detach. We tend to let go. Lucy, you mentioned not wanting to show up on a call. I do the same with some like leadership call, like stuff like that. We start to detach, and the things that usually give us the energy or whatever, it's almost like we're like in that toilet and it's just, kind of sucking us. But honestly, I will be the first to lead and say, when I'm super objective with myself, I can tell you I'm not doing all the things I could be doing. I'm just not. And if this is my business, if this is my income, if it is important to me to lead, if it is important to me to help other people, then I have to look inward too. So that I hope that that's that delicate dance of like, let's be real about where we are, right? I love Brene Brown when she talks about dare to lead and vulnerability. And she said, like, as a leader, it's okay to say, I feel this, like, I'm scared too, but like, here's what we're going to do. Like, right. Or here's what I'm going to do, because, that would be a big mistake to come in and just say, well, it's just a season. We're going to ride the wave. Right. Again, I got to make sure I got my swimmies on and my sunscreen, and I'm prepared, and I'm out there on the beach so that I am, taking care of myself. I hope, does that help?
Yeah,
Linda,
so in response, yeah, I could say I'm not doing all the things, but I feel like I feel like I'm doing more than I was when I was doing better, with my business. And I think I've gotten more confident or more competent and all the things, maybe not on the level that I need to. But I don't feel like I'm not doing anything, or like, anyway, it's just a matter of that disconnect of feeling like what I'm putting out and what I'm receiving. And it's just concern. I think it's concern. Again, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying. I'm sure that things are going to get easier. I'm sure that seasons will change, and all of the things, stock will go up and people will buy. I mean, like, I know it's going to happen. I'm just definitely ready for it.
Yeah. And I'm almost thinking, like, Beth, you just asked the question, does anybody not feel this way? Right. And I think that it is a reflection. I think our clients feel this way. I think our clients feel defeated. I feel, so I think, how can this is a perfect opportunity to get on their level and empathize, like be that empathetic coach, but like thank you, like the world feels defeated, right? But are we going to be those people that let ourselves just feel defeated? Like, the one thing I think that it's always, and this is just like channel. I don't know where it's coming from, but like the one thing that I feel like has always set us apart is what we've learned through Optavia. Like we are the dominant force in our lives. Like if I really embrace everything that Optavia has given me, right, it's allowed me to become this person I didn't expect to be, to make the hardest decisions in my life I didn't expect to be in, you know, the health I never expected that I would be in. So like the world has changed, but yet we're still the dominant force in our own world. And I like, maybe as we're kind of wrapping up, what Julie said is like, could we put our mindset to finding that one new client? Maybe try to find that one new client this week and get creative in terms of, and brave in terms of, I mean, there's probably people I could call. There's probably people I could follow up with. There's, if I'm truly honest with myself, or some environments or circles I could put myself in. I saw some heads nod. So I don't know, Meg, if you have anything to add to that.
No, I think that's a great way to end, is what can we do? And maybe it's just one thing to, challenge ourselves, one thing. Maybe it's one new area. Maybe it's one phone call. Had a coach say her goal this month in June is to call every single client in her org who has ever ordered. And so we broke that down. Okay, how many a week? How many a day? So thinking through, but I just want to say we're fighting alongside you and with you and for you. And so you're not alone. And the work that we do, I really believe matters, and it changes people's lives and their confidence and the trajectory, really, right, of their whole lives. I know mine certainly has changed.
Yeah. Would encourage you, as we're wrapping up, we do want to make our team times a little more lively, like really, and also hands-on. Like tonight, we are going to spend more time on the new system that Jan Paxman introduced to us. We've gotten lots of questions of people fear, like it. I don't know that it's that hard, but it feels hard because of, we just had a lot of change. So we want to just try to simplify things. We're going to play a game on a future team time, like just kind of what was it, Meg? The name, I forget what it's called.
I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever. But just encourage, like we took the time to try to text you guys out, to encourage you to be on the call tonight, and just encourage you to text your coaches, just encourage them, because most of us, we start feeling the apathy and we want to pull away. And what we want to do is the best I've heard it described by Dr. Anderson is, there was this analogy of like Optavia being the motorboat, right? And let's say we're water skiing with Optavia, and we've just been in this great place and we're up and we're doing great, right? And then we fall. And if we let go of that rope, right, what tends to happen is we get tired and we sink. And what we want to do is create that environment where the rope, right, come in, get the ideas, get the energy, so that we can keep working together and navigating through this season.
Dee, can I just tell you really quick, when you said, you're sure there's somebody you can call. I don't know if y'all noticed or got a message, but in the coach app from Optavia, they have a new feature called People to Contact. And it's all the people that they've given us leads before. And I was scrolling through here, and there's like 60 something people in ours, but we've been coaching a while. But I'm thinking, I don't even remember half these people. And they're probably people that were a lead at one time that maybe didn't respond. But I was just thinking, gosh, just to reach out to all of them, and see which ones maybe just didn't respond at the time. So that's a new feature in there that might be helpful.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, and that's the thing, is just at some point, even on our inactives, like this was important to people. What if we just picked up the phone to see where they are?
Yeah, they even have a recently inactive feed. I guess all that's new in there.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Well, we definitely want to honor your time. So thanks for being on today. Thanks for your honesty, your transparency. This is what we want, is this kind of interaction. And we're hoping that it helps you move forward as well. So we'll see you on team time tonight. Bye.